Your chance to text to win Thursday.
Good morning. I'm Lena Bovian. Coming up next, fallen LAPD officer 27-year-old Fernando Arroyos being laid to rest today. We're live here at the Hollywood Hills Forest Lawn with a live look at the services.
Good morning. I'm Frank Buckley. A California state lawmaker plans to introduce a bill that would mandate searches of backpacks and lockers at schools under certain circumstances. We'll explain.
Good morning, I'm Jessica Holmes. Terrifying situation at the Orange County mansion of a reality TV personality. We'll tell you what happened.
Good morning, I'm Gene Payne. We're taking a look at the Santa Ana winds whipping through our area. Depending on where you live, it could be pretty intense. See these palm trees going about in the wind. More on that, and we're tracking the windstorm coming up next.
Good morning, I'm Sam Rubin, new here at 10 o'clock. It's Christmas morning for Greg Gutfeld. Whoopi Goldberg out for 2 weeks, but could it be longer? And the head of CNN out for good. What's going on with both those big stories? We'll talk about it coming up.
Winds haven't even peaked yet. They're going to be continuing to get stronger and stronger as the afternoon moves along across Southern California, and overnight tonight it is going to be a windy one. Then after that, temperatures starting to warm up heading into Thursday and especially over the weekend. 64 coastal, downtown 65, 61 San Fernando Valley, 53 in the high desert, Inland Empire 59 degrees, 66 Orange County inland. Frank, back to you.
A funeral for a fallen LAPD officer is getting underway. Officer Fernando Arroyos was off duty when he was shot and killed during a robbery attempt in a South LA neighborhood last month. KTLA's Alina Bovian live at Forest Lawn in Hollywood Hills where the service is taking place. Alina, good morning.
Frank, good morning. A somber day, to say the least. The Arroyos family getting ready to bury their only son. And for members of law enforcement, a friend and a colleague. Now take a look behind me here. You can see the services happening live at this hour. This is the Forest Lawn services set up outside the Hall of Liberty. You can see an overwhelming show of support this morning. A sea of police officers here to honor one of their own. A man whose life was cut too short, 27-year-old Fernando Uriel Arroyos. The family was gracious enough to allow a few cameras for the emotional day. And let's take a look at one of our other camera angles this morning. We're told in about 30 minutes, Mayor Eric Garcetti and LAPD Chief Michael Moore will both say a few words. This will be a private service, only family and friends and law enforcement. Sometime after 11 a.m. this morning, Officer Arroyos' casket will be carried out and driven to another location where he will be laid to rest, the Inglewood Park Cemetery. Officer Fernando Arroyos died on January 10. He was fatally shot while off duty. He was house hunting with his girlfriend in South LA. The fallen officer is survived by his mother, father, girlfriend, grandfather, and stepfather, who considered him like his own son. Arroyos was a 3-year veteran of the LAPD assigned to the Olympic Station. Friends and family remembering him as a smart person, talented and kind. He was a graduate of Berkeley University and an honors student. It was his lifelong dream to be a police officer. He was often thought of as a role model by younger officers in the department. The night he was killed, investigators believe he was targeted over a gold chain worth only $200. 3 suspects approached Arroyos in an attempted robbery. There was an exchange of gunfire, and the 27-year-old was shot and killed. 4 suspects have been apprehended, all believed to have gang ties. Now back out here live, Sheriff Alex Villanueva will also be here this morning. We're told also the deputies who responded that night, the night that Officer Fernando Arroyos was shot. They tried desperately to save his life. He will be remembered today. I'm Lena Bovian reporting live here in the Hollywood Hills. We'll send it back to you.
Another officer being remembered here for the second time in less than a week. The NYPD is saying goodbye to one of their own. The funeral for Officer Wilbert Mora held this morning at Manhattan's St. Patrick's Cathedral. The church held the funeral for Mora's partner, Jason Rivera, last week. Mora and Rivera were both shot and killed when they were ambushed by a gunman while responding to a domestic violence call in Harlem last month. Both were posthumously promoted to detective first grade. At his request, Mora's organs were donated, saving the lives of 5 people. His heart, kidneys, pancreas, and liver went to 3 recipients in his home state of New York.
A tense standoff at the beachfront home of reality TV personality in Newport Beach yesterday around 2 p.m. SWAT teams swarmed the multi-million-dollar home of former Real Housewives of Orange County star Elizabeth Vargas. Authorities were investigating an alleged domestic dispute involving Vargas's ex-boyfriend. Vargas was able to get out of the home to safety, but her ex-boyfriend reportedly barricaded himself inside the home and refused to come out. One suspect was arrested hours later. Around 7:30 last night, 2 others were taken into custody when SWAT entered the home. A car slammed into a building around 1:30 this morning in Glendale. Witnesses say the driver veered off the road and crashed into this dental office along Los Feliz Boulevard and Central Avenue. The driver ran from the scene. It's unclear what caused the driver to lose control.
Strong gusty winds are being felt across Southern California this morning.
Santa Ana wind event increasing our risk for power outages and dangerous driving conditions. KTLA's Gene Kang live in Fontana, where he's seen the winds pick up this morning. Hi, Gene.
Hey, Frank and Jessica. Well, the winds are picking up on cue here in Fontana. This area by Sierra Avenue and the 15 freeway is almost like a wind tunnel. Look at this bag just whipping around, and our photographer Chris is going to zoom up these palm trees just whipping about as well. But as you take a closer look, if you're going to be driving along the freeways, just be cautious. CHP and Caltrans warning folks, especially if you're in a semi-truck or a high-profile vehicle, it's going to be a little dicey. Driving was very challenging out on those freeways. This is new overnight video in Rialto and Fontana, where you can hear the intense winds blowing through. That's over by Duncan Canyon Road and Coyote Canyon Park. Southern California, well, we are being hit with 2 days of strong Santa Ana winds. The National Weather Service says it's going to slam our region all the way through Thursday. A high wind warning is in effect for the LA mountains. Northeast winds will hit roughly 45 miles per hour with gusts up to 60 or 70 miles an hour in some areas. Now, of course, some areas will be breezy, others will have intense Santa Ana winds. Well, there's a less severe wind warning through noon tomorrow in the San Fernando, San Gabriel, and Santa Clarita valleys. Well, people in Rancho Cucamonga, we've been driving around town, you could say. We were there earlier today. Brace yourselves, Mother Nature is starting to kick up those winds. This is over by Etiwanda and Church. There's a lot of dust as well, not very good air quality. Other areas will feel everything from that light breeze to very strong winds from Santa Monica Mountains area along the coast and even into downtown LA. Now, last month, look at this damage. Because of all of this and unusually dry, windy weather, the National Weather Service says that this will continue this month in February. They're warning everyone to be cautious. As we know, just last week, a major windstorm uprooted trees and power lines and left scattered debris on roads and freeways. Talk about a big cleanup effort. Now, Caltrans District 9 just tweeted this image saying, high winds ahead, high loads, campers not recommended, along with a message saying there is a high wind advisory in place for U.S. Highway 395 from the San Bernardino-Kern County line to Lone Pine. So that's just an indication of some of the freeways and other roadways that are pretty dicey if you're going to be out there. We know a lot of folks have been stopping on the side of the freeway, but as you see from these palm trees, depending on where you live, depends really on how intense it's going to get. But that's the very latest here from Fontana. Gene Kang, KTLA 5 News. Back to you.
All right, and those winds are going to be picking up in a lot of areas all the way through this afternoon and tonight. Some of the winds up to about 50 miles an hour. So, yes, it definitely will be gusting. At the moment, 54, 2 degrees cooler than it was yesterday.